Hi everyone, my name is Leo and Hotone has just released a profiling platform that not only allows us to create profiles via software, but also to convert NULL profiles and load them in the Ampero 2 units, like the Stage or the Ampero 2. So the question is, how good are these profiles? Let's check it out. First of all, let me clarify the 4 different methods we now have to create profiles or clones with the Hotone platform. The first, and the one that is already available since few months, allows us to create profiles simply using the hardware units with a mic input, like the Ampero 2 or the Ampero 2 Stage. The second is using the Hotone software to convert NULL profiles to the Hotone internal format that then can be loaded inside the hardware units. With the third option, we simply use the software platform to create profiles, and it works very similarly to the Tonix profiling software. And lastly, with the fourth option, we still use the software platform, but we can use our own riff to train the model, similarly to what we can do with the NULL training procedure. Okay, with this out of the way, let's share the 2 different tests we are gonna do. With the first one, we will of course perform the NULL test, checking out the 4 profile options versus a real Soldano SL100, also comparing them to the native NULL performances. Then we will also hear some test riffs to check out the dynamic range management. Let's start with the NULL test, which is based on the principle that if you play 2 sounds at the same time with one of them phase inverted, the lower is the resulting integrated LUFS, the more the 2 sounds are similar each to the other. Of course, I have matched the sounds in terms of volume and aligned them at the sample point level. So please subscribe and ring the bell, as this test took me a lot of time. First of all, as reference, let's hear a pure NULL profile versus the real SLO 100. So the resulting LUFS is minus 40.8. And now Ampero 2 or Stage versus Soldano. Minus 33.8, and now NULL profile converted with the Hotone software put inside an hardware unit. We have minus 30.8 LUFS. Interesting. And now profile created with the Hotone software using the Hotone internal software. And then of course loading the obtained profile inside the Hotone unit. We have a minus 29.4 LUFS. And finally, if we create a profile with the Hotone software by using our own riff, we obtain basically the same result as using the internal Hotone riff. So summarizing, we have NULL plugin minus 40.8, Ampero 2 profile minus 33.8, Hotone NULL converted profile minus 30.8, profile created with the Hotone software and loaded in the Ampero minus 29.4. So here I'm really surprised, as the software platform is basically performing a little worse than using the Ampero hardware unit to create profile. And of course the NULL profile converted is less precise, but it was to be expected, as converting the NULL profile, you of course reduce the quality of the neural network, and of course you obtain worse results. But we will analyze even further this info in my 2 cents section of this video. Let's now perform also the second chunk of tests. Final considerations here, and please notice that I have done these tests just for my personal experimentation, and you may not agree with me or with my conclusions, and this is totally fine. Furthermore, this video is neither sponsored nor paid. I'm making these videos purely for the joy of sharing with you the results and because experimenting with these units is fun. And please subscribe and ring the bell, as it would really help me to create more videos like this, and it is actually totally free for you. Now, I'm really surprised about the results obtained for 2 reasons. The first one is that the software platform allows me to create profiles using my own recording gear, and I have professional grade preamps and audio interface that should of course perform better than the internal preamp and converter inside the Ampero 2. The second reason is that in the Hotone website it is reported that the new tone catch platform should perform better than the old sound clone one, where actually in the NULL test the new platform performed worse than the old one. But on the other hand, if we read carefully, we can find another info that is the following. The optimized data structure of sound clone increases the storage capacity. Therefore, the new profiling method should have a pretty significant difference in terms of architecture used compared to the old Ampero sound clone, allowing for smaller use of memory, which on the other hand tells me that the new profiles, being smaller, may also be therefore less accurate. That alone could be the reason why I am obtaining the aforementioned results. So here the suggestion I have is that maybe Hotone should allow us to select the quality of the profile we create between small, medium or high, similarly to what IK Multimedia does with their own platform. Okay guys, that's all for this video. Please tell me your findings in the comment section below. See you soon. Bye.